Why you feel low, it's not in your head. Let's talk about mood, because this is something almost everyone struggles with at some point. You can have everything in your life look fine, nothing major is wrong, and yet you still feel off, flat, low, a bit disconnected. And if you really think about it, you've probably had days like that where nothing in your life changed, but somehow you did. And when that happens, most people go to the same conclusion. There must be something wrong with my brain. Maybe my serotonin is low. But that's what we've been told. Serotonin controls mood. So if your mood is low, serotonin must be the problem. And from there, people start trying to fix it. They look for ways to, boost serotonin, balance brain chemistry, and feel better from the inside out. But here's the problem. That way of thinking is incomplete because it assumes something isn't fully true. It assumes serotonin starts in the brain, but it doesn't. And once you see this, it becomes very hard to look at mood the same way again. Most serotonin in your body is not in your brain, it's in your gut, which means the thing you've been told controls your mood is actually being shaped somewhere else in the body. And if you pause on that for a second, it explains a lot. Because it means those days where you feel off might not be coming from your thoughts at all. They might be coming from your body, your gut, your immune system, and your internal state, all feeding information into your brain. So instead of asking, how do I boost serotonin? You start asking, what is shaping my serotonin? Because that's where real control is. Think about this. Your brain is not sitting there making decisions in isolation. It's constantly receiving information, signals. And one of the biggest sources of these signals is your gut. Inside your gut, you have bacteria, trillions of them. And they're not just sitting there doing nothing. They're active. They influence how your body processes food, how your immune system behaves, how your signals are sent to your brain. So when your gut is in a good state, the signals are clean. Your brain receives safe information and you feel more stable, more steady, more like, your true self. But when your gut is off, the signals change. And if you've ever had a period of where your digestion felt off or your body just didn't feel right, you may have also noticed your mood wasn't quite the same either. That's not a coincidence. That's the system. Because once you change the signals, everything downstream starts to shift. Your immune system picks it up first. It starts asking, something isn't right here. And when that happens, it creates signals again. Signals that tell your brain, we might not be safe. And your brain responds accordingly. Not by pushing you into a high motivated positive state, but by pulling you into something more cautious, more reserved, more flat. Because from a biological standpoint, that's the safest place to be. And this is where serotonin gets affected. Because serotonin is not just about happiness, it's about stability. It's about feeling okay. It's about being balanced. So when your internal signals are unstable, your mood becomes unstable. And this is why you can feel low. And even when nothing in your life is actually wrong, because it's not coming from your life, it's coming from your signals. Your body is influencing your brain all the time. And once you see that, you start to notice patterns. You start to realize there are days where you feel better and days where you feel worse. And it doesn't always match what's happening around you. That's your internal system shifting. Now, your personality, it's not that. It's not your mindset, your biology. Let's bring in another key piece of information, inflammation, because this plays a big role in how you feel. When your body is inflamed, it shifts into a defensive state. And when that happens, your system prioritizes protection, not feeling good. So instead of supporting stable mood, it shifts resources towards defense. And your brain reflects this. You feel flat, low, and off. And if you think back, you've probably had days where your body felt a bit heavy, a bit sluggish, and your mood match that. That's not random. That's the signal. Now, here's where this becomes powerful. Because if your mood is being shaped by your body, then you're not stuck, you're not broken, and you don't need to force yourself to feel better. You just need to change the signals. So let's make this simple. Not overwhelming, just a few things you can actually do. First, support your gut. This is your foundation because your gut is one of the main sources of the signals shaping your mood. So you start simple, something like eating the skins of 1 or 2 apples in the morning. And you do this for a few days in a row, and then you observe, because what you'll often notice is subtle shifts, a little less heaviness, a little more stability, and that's actually your system changing. Second, reduce what makes you feel worse. And if you're honest with yourself, you probably already know some of these. Certain foods, certain habits, certain patterns, even certain people. Do they leave you feeling slightly off? Instead of ignoring that, use it, because your body is always giving feedback. And when you remove those inputs, your system starts to calm down. Third, stabilize your energy, because unstable energy creates unstable mood. If your energy spikes and crashes, your mood will follow. And if you think about your own day, there are probably times where your energy drops and your mood drops with it. That's not a coincidence. That's the system behaving in a certain way. 4, move your body. Not extreme, just simple movement, a walk, light activity, because movement shifts signals quickly. And often you'll feel a difference within minutes. Now, here's the most important part. You don't need to do all of this. You don't need to get it perfect. You just need to start. Pick one thing, just one, and try it for a few days. And then notice, because once you start seeing the connection between your body and your mood, everything changes. You literally stop guessing. You stop blaming yourself and you start understanding what's actually happening. And this is where this becomes truly life-changing, because a lot of people, for a lot of people, this is the moment something clicks. They realize they're not broken. They just, they were just wired this way. Their body's been influencing their state this whole time. So instead of chasing happiness, you build stability. Instead of forcing yourself to feel better, you improve the signals that shape how you feel. And when those signals improve, you feel more steady. You feel more clear. You feel more, like yourself. Not because you forced it, but because your body allowed it. So if you take one thing from this, make it this. Your mood is not just in your head, it's being shaped by your body. And if you want to change how you feel, you don't start with your brain, you start with your signals. And in the next video, we're going to break down why your brain won't switch off, why it's hard to relax, and how to actually change that. Because this is how you take control. Not by forcing change, but by understanding what's really driving it. And just remember, the more you come back to this, the more it starts to make sense. So revisit this, sit with it, and let it truly land. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, remember, healing is easy.